Today on Upfront, it all comes down to Tuesday. The White House, U.S. Senate, House, and state legislature, all on the line. Next on Upfront, is Wisconsin still within reach for Donald Trump or part of Hillary Clinton's firewall? And will Wisconsin's suddenly close U.S. Senate contest go down to the wire? We have insight and analysis today from Marquette Law School poll director Charles Franklin, Christian Schneider, columnist for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and John Nichols, associate editor of the Capital Times.
Covering the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront with Mike Goucher.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Upfront. We're now counting down the hours to Tuesday's election, and in this final stretch, it seems Wisconsin has regained at least some of its key battleground state status. The latest Marquette University Law School poll showed Democrat Hillary Clinton with a 6-point lead over Republican Donald Trump. But Trump is still hoping for a late surge here. Our U.S. Senate race is also getting a lot of national attention right now. The Marquette poll shows Democrat Russ Feingold with just a single-point lead over Republican incumbent Ron Johnson. So what should we be watching for on Tuesday night? We begin with the director of the Marquette Law School poll, Professor Charles Franklin. Charles, good to have you here. And again, Charles and I are colleagues at the law school. Let's begin by talking about Donald Trump and apparently his interest in Wisconsin. It still is there. Mike Pence is going to be campaigning in the state on Saturday. What is Trump looking for to happen on Tuesday?
Well, Trump and the campaign have spent a lot of time here, actually. And I think the biggest thing and why he's coming to southeastern Wisconsin is he continues in our polling data to underperform Mitt Romney in his vote in the Milwaukee suburban region of the state. This is usually the richest area of Republican votes in the state, and he's not driving up the margins there that Romney and other Republicans almost always do.
Very competitive in our poll right now.
Very competitive. In fact, the region as a whole, which is a little broader than just the suburbs, is tied effectively. And even in Waukesha and Washington and Ozaukee, it's only a modest Trump lead, not the substantial lead we usually see. Trump's sort of making that up in the Green Bay area, where he's overperforming Romney. And in this latest poll, for the first time, seems to be leading in the north and west of the state by just a little bit, maybe 5 or 6 points. But that region had been tied before. Now, with all of that, he's still behind by 6 points. But he could close that gap with a stronger than our polling shows, a stronger performance in the Southeast.
Absolutely has to do that to have a shot at winning, even though he's doing well in Green Bay, for instance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Part of the reason for that is Republicans are not voting for him at the levels that they normally are. In our data, 81% of Republicans are voting for Trump versus 89% of Democrats voting for Clinton. Normally, those numbers would be about the same. He's been rising a little bit from 77 3 weeks ago with Republicans to 81 now, but still a little bit short. That's the other broader question. Will reluctant Republicans come home to him by Tuesday?
Let's talk about Hillary Clinton for a moment. Again, on Tuesday night, where does she have to perform best? Obviously, we know that she needs to do well in Dane County and Milwaukee, but beyond there, Charles.
Yeah. Well, getting good turnout in those areas would be really important. And she has a little bit of the problem that Trump has in reverse in Dane County, where her margins there have been very strong, but not quite as strong as they might be. They have been going up lately. Perhaps the Bernie folks are coming home. Also, let's mention Rock County, Janesville, which gets overlooked sometimes, but it's the third richest source of Democratic votes in the state. And so a good turnout and a good margin there would also matter for her. If she could catch up some in Green Bay is an area that leans Republican, but right now it's going 10 or 12 points for Trump. If she could pull that down a little bit, that would be a help.
That Green Bay area is interesting because a lot of people in politics in this state look at that as sort of a swing county. It's sort of emblematic of how the country feels about things.
Yeah.
It is interesting to see Trump and doing so well in that area.
And it seems to have spilled over to other races in the area, including the congressional race that thought would be very competitive. It looks like that's leaning Republican. Our polling has not included the congressional race there. I'm quoting general sense of how the race is going.
Let's talk for a moment about the Senate race. And you mentioned one of the differences in this race is that there hasn't been, at least in the polling, quite the same enthusiasm among partisans for Donald Trump as there has been for Ron Johnson. Why is Johnson outperforming Trump?
This helps explain why the Senate race is so close, while the presidential race has a 6-point margin. Unlike the presidential race, in the Senate race, partisans are turning out for both candidates equally. 86% of Republicans for Johnson, 85% of Democrats for Feingold. 3 weeks ago, they were also exactly matched on that measure. And in a highly polarized state, naturally that produces a more competitive election. Johnson is performing as well as Republicans usually perform in the Southeast, whereas Trump is underperforming. Johnson's also benefiting a bit from that more Republican lean to the Green Bay area. But the real changes we see over the last few weeks are an improvement of his image overall. More people saying he cares about people like you, more people saying they have a favorable rather than an unfavorable view. And for both candidates, but especially for Johnson, more people feeling like they know something about the candidates. That had been a weak spot, especially for Johnson, until the last 9 or 12 weeks.
And interestingly, and that goes to the heart of what you're saying, Charles, we've seen Ron Johnson do much better with women voters than Donald Trump.
It's a striking thing. Now, maybe it's not surprising that Trump has had problems with women voters. We've seen that, and Trump is, in fact, performing 10 points worse with women Republicans than with male Republicans. So that's a real big effect. But it's the reverse with Johnson. Johnson has a surprisingly strong appeal among women compared to what Republicans usually do. And I think you could tie that to the kind of positive ads that he's run recently, which softened his image, work on an international adoption, work on job training for African-American men. But those things seem to have moved the numbers in our polling data, and they also seem to have given women a more favorable view of him.
On the surface, looks like a very tight race on Tuesday night.
It very much does.
All right, Charles Franklin, the director of the Marquette Law School poll. Always good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. Hundreds of thousands of people in Wisconsin have already voted. More than 685,000 ballots have been cast in Wisconsin through Friday. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And a reminder, you will need to show a photo ID. If you're not registered to vote, you can register at your polling place on Tuesday. Next, we'll do a deep dive into key races on the ballot Tuesday. What could surprise us on Tuesday night? I'll be asking our pundit panel next on Upfront.
Upfront with Mike Goucher, brought to you by the American Transmission Company and the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association.